Night has fallen, but not gently. It crawled in like smoke, pressing against the windows of your mind, curling into the corners of your soul where forgotten thoughts collect like dust. You hear it, don't you? Not with your ears, with your pulse. The silence isn't empty. It's breathing. And in the stillness, you are not alone. Beneath the soft layers of this night, beneath the hum of your ceiling fan and the ticking of the clock that dares to move forward, there is something older than sleep staring back at you. Your thoughts, once tame and obedient, now roam free like wolves behind your eyes. They whisper things you pretend not to hear during the day. But the night is honest, and honesty can be terrifying. This is the hour when masks slip, when smiles dissolve, when memories knock at the walls of your mind and you are forced to answer, because the dark does not let you hide. You thought sleep would come like a soft wave. Instead, it arrives like a tide pulling you down, not to rest, but to remember. Everything you buried under, "I'm fine." Everything you silenced with noise. Everything you pushed aside just to survive the daylight. It's here, and it wants to be seen. Do not resist. Do not reach for distraction. Let it rise. Let the shadows have their voice tonight. Let the unspoken speak. Because sometimes peace comes not from silencing the storm, but from learning its language. What are you so afraid of hearing? That you are tired? That you are wounded? That you are angry at a world that promised more and gave you pieces instead? You are allowed to feel it now. The bed creaks not because you moved, but because the past is shifting beneath you. Look how fragile time becomes at night. You lie still, yet you drift backward. Your mind flickers through old rooms, old faces, frozen words you never said, futures you never lived. Regret is a shadow that stretches in the dark. But this is not a punishment. This is an invitation to face the version of yourself you pretend doesn't exist. The one who still aches, the one who still screams inside, the one who remembers. Come closer. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's heavy. But so are all things that are real. This is where the hollow things echo. This is where ghosts wear your name. This is where you confront what silence reveals when it stops pretending to be kind. And still, you're here. Still breathing. Still brave enough to stare into the void and whisper, "I see you." Maybe you don't need saving tonight. Maybe you need truth. And truth isn't pretty. Truth is raw. It scrapes. It exposes. But it frees you. You can scream into your pillow if you want, or cry so quietly the moon can't hear. You can clench your fists at the sky and ask why love didn't stay, why innocence couldn't last, why comfort always comes too late. You are allowed that. You are allowed everything. Tonight is not for soothing. Tonight is for severing, for burning what no longer belongs, for making peace with the monster inside your reflection. You are not broken. You are awakening. To what? To the dark parts of yourself you keep chained in the daylight. But here, under the eye of the night, they are not evil. They are honest. And they are you. You can try to outrun them again tomorrow. But tonight, you walk side by side. Through the forest of your failures. Through the ruins of your old selves. Through the ache of what could have been. No one will interrupt. No one will judge. The night is listening. And it understands more than any human ever could. It knows you're tired. Tired of being strong. Tired of pretending you don't care. Tired of wearing hope like armor when your bones are already broken. So take it off. Let the world unravel behind your closed eyes. Let the weight fall from your chest like stones. This is not surrender. This is rebirth. What if you could begin again? What if this hour, this deep blue haunted hour, was your cocoon? You came here thinking you were dying into sleep. But what if you are being reshaped? Darkness is not always absence. It is sometimes womb. And the pain that comes is the kind that precedes becoming. Let that sink in. Let it wrap around you like velvet despair, not to crush you, but to teach you softness again. Even the most haunted places hold beauty if you look long enough. Even your nightmares are pieces of yourself asking to be heard. So stop resisting. Let the shadows speak. Let them crawl from under the bed, out of your closet, from behind your eyes. Ask them what they want. Ask them what they're hiding. Ask them what they need you to remember. They will answer you, not with words, but with ache. And that ache, that's how you know you're still human, still raw, still unfinished, still alive. The truth is, you will not be the same after tonight. Something will shift, something will fall away, because once the dark has held you, you never look at light the same, not as comfort, but as contrast. You need the dark, just as you need silence, just as you need truth. And tonight, you will have all three. The dark no longer feels foreign now, does it? It is no longer a visitor. It is a mirror. And in that mirror, you're beginning to see not a victim, but a creature of great depth, formed by storms, carved by silence, and made beautiful by brokenness. Yes, beautiful. Not in spite of your darkness, but because of it. Let them say you are strange. Let them say you are quiet. Let them say you are too much or not enough. They never knew what it cost you to sit beside your pain and not flinch, to trace your scars like constellations and find meaning in the madness. This is your kingdom now, not the day's illusion of control, but the night's deeper knowing. You no longer fear your mind. You no longer fear the voices within. You welcome them like old gods returning. They speak of what you lost, of what you buried, of what you still carry in that invisible place just beneath the skin. Can you feel it, that low hum pulsing in your chest? It is not fear, it is power, and it has waited a long time to wait. You thought the dark would devour you, but here's the truth. It came to deliver you. From the lie that you are weak, from the illusion that you must always be soft, from the story that your shadows make you shameful. No, they make you real. Tonight you walk barefoot across the ruins. You run your fingers along old bones. You smile at the ghosts who try to scare you. Because now you remember, you are made of darker things than they are. You are not here to be healed. You are here to be claimed by yourself. You don't need a savior tonight. You need a throne. And it waits deep in the forest of your fear, surrounded by the wolves of memory. They do not bite, not anymore. They bow, because they remember who you are, not what the world sees, not the mask, not the pleasantries, but the wild core, the primal truth, the part of you that does not beg to be loved, but demands to be understood. Let the air grow colder. Let the sky deepen into indigo. This descent is sacred. It is your passage into truth. And truth, it's messy. It's loud in its silence. It's violent in its stillness. It does not always comfort, but it always reveals. And this is what you've come to see. That your sorrow is holy, that your rage is honest, that your longing is a compass. What you call darkness is just a place the light hasn't reached yet. And now, you carry a match. Do you feel it? In your throat. Not a lump, but a growl. In your hands. Not a tremble, but a fire. You are remembering now. The nights you didn't think you'd survive. The wounds you stitched in silence. The hope you buried like a corpse, and still, somehow, resurrected. This isn't sleep. This is becoming. Don't soften yet. There is more to face. Let's go deeper, deeper into the memory of that moment you were betrayed. Of the time you begged without words for someone to see you. And they looked away. Yes, that one. Hold it in your hands. Turn it over. Don't run this time. Let the pain burn a hole in you if it must. You won't fall through it. You'll rise through it. You have been broken. You have been hollowed out. But not so you would stay empty, so you could hold more. More truth, more grit, more strength disguised as sorrow. The ones who survive are not the ones who smile the longest. They are the ones who bleed with their eyes open. Like you. You are not asleep. You are awake in a way most never reach. You are sitting with your ghosts, sharing silence and understanding. You're not afraid of the dark anymore. You are becoming it, the calm kind, the quiet kind, the kind that does not need permission to take up space. Let the night stretch out. Let it spill into you. You are a vessel now, for pain, yes, but also for power. Real power, the kind that comes not from noise but from knowing. Knowing what it is to feel too much and still not close yourself off. Knowing how to walk barefoot through fire and come out burned, but alive. Knowing how to grieve and still grow. And here is the strangest miracle of all. You will rest. After all of this, after dancing with your demons, after kneeling before your grief, you will rest. Not because you escaped, but because you accepted. You accepted the sorrow. You welcomed the shadow. And now, it has softened. The darkness, once sharp, is now velvet. The silence, once heavy, is now gentle. And you are not who you were when this night began. You are something deeper, something truer, something forged in the fire of your own becoming. You know now what most never learn, that peace isn't found by ignoring the pain. It's found by walking through it and learning to hold it like a child. And maybe, just maybe, you are beginning to love the part of you that you used to hide. That is power. Not the kind that shouts, the kind that listens, the kind that endures, the kind that whispers back at the void, I'm still here. The night is no longer something you pass through. It is something you are, a cloak you wear, a language you speak. It does not frighten you now. It hums in your blood. It moves with your breath. And you are its chosen voice. You were never meant to be tame. Even your stillness has sharp edges. Even your silence echoes with depth. This world tried to file you down, soften your fire, drown your instincts in light. But the night gave you back to yourself. And now you rise. Not with fanfare, but with presence. You do not need applause. You do not need saving. You are not a broken thing needing glue. You are a vessel shaped by storm. You are whole because of the cracks. And you know something now that cannot be taken from you. The dark does not destroy. It reveals, it strips, it speaks. And you listened. You listened when others turned away. You faced what they feared. You learned the names of your monsters and stopped calling them enemies. You let them speak. You let them weep. And in that space, you became something else. Not healed, but holy. Holy in your ache. Holy in your rage. Holy in your longing to be known beneath all the masks. Let this be said of you. That you walked through the midnight of your mind, barefoot and unblinking, and made peace with the shadows who lived there. That you kissed the scars on your soul like old lovers returned from war. That you did not chase light like a child desperate for warmth. You became it, carrying it in your chest where no one could steal it again. The night nods now. It sees you, it respects you, because it knows its own. You have passed the trials, not by pretending, but by feeling. You wept, you raged, you remembered, and now you rest, but not in defeat, not in despair. You rest like a lion in the tall grass, knowing power does not always roar. Sometimes it waits, sometimes it breathes, sometimes it dreams, and tonight you will dream, but not of escape, of return. Return to the parts of you once exiled. Return to the voices you once silenced. Return to the truth you once buried under survival. The world will still ask you to wear a smile, to be digestible, to be clean. But you know better now. Clean things don't grow. It is the dirt that feeds, the rot that transforms, the decay that gives way to life. Let them call you too dark. Let them say you dwell too long in sorrow. You know the truth, that sorrow is not weakness, it is a baptism. And you, my friend, have been baptized by fire and shadow, and you emerged with eyes wide open. Let them speak their hollow comforts. You have no need of them. You have tasted silence and found it sharp. You have swallowed grief like stone. You have heard your own voice in the void and answered with trembling strength. I am still here. That is more than most will ever do. So now, you lie down, but not to forget, not to numb. You lie down to integrate, to gather the scattered pieces of self and hold them in a sacred pile like bones of the ancestors. Each one a lesson, each one a scar, each one a name. Say them to yourself. Say them slowly. Say the name of the part of you that wanted to die. Say the name of the part of you that begged for love. Say the name of the part of you that held on anyway. These are your witnesses. They walk beside you into sleep, not to haunt, but to honor, because you survived them and they survived you. And now, you belong to yourself again, not to the world, not to approval, not to fantasy, to yourself, the one who stands barefoot at the edge of what is real, arms open, ready to become. Do you hear it, that slow, steady rhythm? It is not just your heartbeat. It is the dark singing to you, a lullaby written in bone and breath. You are more than what tried to break you. Say it back. Say it like a spell. Say it like a truth that must never be forgotten. I am more than what tried to break me. Again, I am more than what tried to break me. Again, I am more. And sleep begins to pull at you now, but it does not drag. It invites. You have earned this, not as reward, but as right. You came through the valley of your mind. You sat with the ghosts. You mourned the illusions. You danced in the ruins. And now, you rest, with dignity, with depth, with the calm of someone who has faced the abyss. And smile. Because the abyss was never your end, it was your echo. And echoes only exist because something real was spoken once. You are that real thing. You are not a shadow. You are the source. And now, the shadows sleep beside you, not as torment, as truth. The kind you no longer fear, the kind that cradles in the dark. The deep, sacred, sinister dark whispers one last thing as you drift. Welcome home. And if your soul heard something tonight, if even a single shadow inside you breathed easier, let it be known. Whisper back through the silence. Leave a comment below. Subscribe if you wish to walk these halls again. And if your heart still aches quietly, leave a like so others know they're not alone in the night.